Hey, what's up, everybody? I got a new idea for you today, and let me know in the comment section what you think of the idea. And by the way, hit like right now because we're going to get right into it. And look at this. So, right off the bat, right, we had a nice recovery here, right? But, is it to be trusted? Because, you see recovery here, you get slammed down, recovery here, you get slammed down before you actually make a move, right? You come down, make a recovery, get slammed down, make a recovery, get slammed down before you make a move. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But look at this. Why would it do that? What would be, a logical explanation of that? Well, if you look here, first of all, um, we broke this level, right? And we back tested it. So if you've been following the channel, you already know that. And right now we're sort of consolidating here. Now, yesterday I put out a video. It was looking pretty bearish. We got a pop. And now you can start to see some structure in here. So I have a new count for what that could potentially be. It might be right, it might be wrong. But I'm starting to like it, and it's starting to make sense to me. So in order to see what I'm talking about, I'm going to zoom in here. So first of all, this particular count comes in usually at a fourth wave, right? This type of count usually comes in a fourth wave. So if this is wave one and this is wave two, right? And wave one is coming off the back test of the bull market support band, which is also, right? Which is also coming off of a three wave move, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have a WXY, back test the bull market support band. We have an impulse to the upside. We flag out for wave two. And now what is this? What is that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So check this out, because right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be part of a third wave, right? I mean, I don't really like it too much. I'd rather it be, honestly, a 1, 2, 1, 2. That would be better, because the third wave isn't, as impulsive as I would like. But you got to remember, we're trying to slice through all of these retracement levels. So it's not always going to be, a clear situation. So we have a wave one, we have a wave two, and let's just say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's wave three. This is wave four, and then we get wave five. So now we don't know if that is it, but let's look at wave four. So what type of corrections come in a wave four? Well, you have many different types of corrections in wave fours. And wave fours are always the most complex. They're always the most difficult. They're always the most challenging, right? Because, I mean, look at this, right? I'm gonna tell you what it is, but look at this. Let me zoom out a little bit more. On the whole structure, right? When I zoom all the way out on this latest wave, this could be a wave four. So we have, right, wave one, wave two, wave three is this wave four, and then we get wave five on the macro front, right? Yeah, and we're in a wave four. Like I said, that could be a good explanation, and it's also, like I said, they're always very challenging. So what is the wave four that we're in now? What could it potentially be? Well, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, right? We also have 1, 2, 3. And then we get 1, 2, 3. So what the heck is this? Is this another three-wave move? Is it starting to make a little bit of sense, right? 1, 2, 3. Right? You can see what's going on here, right? You have 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up. So what is that? And then you get 3 down maybe again. So what on earth could that possibly be? Well, usually in that type of correction, you know, like I said, comes in fourth waves. It could be this right here. A, B, C. Maybe D's finished, maybe not. D, and then we get E. And then we go. So, what does that look like to you? It could potentially be a triangle. An Elliott wave triangle, not just some triangle somebody draws, an actual, legitimate Elliott wave triangle. So what you have now, this is just an idea. I could be totally wrong. This is not financial advice. I'm just, when I see things start to mature, I want to come out and let you know about it, right? As I see it unfold, right? This, you know, this chart, every candle is basically telling a story. And when you put all of the candles together, it's a symphony that we're all trying to interpret, right? So what we have here on this idea, and by the way, I came out and it is a bullish idea, right? So we have a wave 1, we have a wave 2, we have a wave 3, we have a wave 4 triangle. That's important because if this was happening in a wave 2, I wouldn't like it. Triangles appear in wave 4s. That's why I'm talking about it, right? So we have a wave 4 for in a triangle, and then we come up for a wave 5. So there you go. So that's the idea. So let's zoom out, right, and see what that looks like on the bigger time frames. So I'm actually going to take all that off, and I'm just going to draw it like this. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, and then a little wave. And then we go up. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty decent. Now, here's the issue I see with it, though. It could turn into something big, but it also can be the ending of something, right? So, for example, remember yesterday I said, you know, a couple things can happen here. So when you look at the overall structure of this, right, and this is what I always go back to. I always go back to this right here because that's our wave 2, right? So this is our wave 1. This is our wave 2, and this is our wave 3. And if we're in wave 4, we want something equal to this right here. So let me put that right there, right? So it could be like I've always, you know, talked about. Maybe you're new to the channel. You're hearing it for the first time. But you could see what this correction was. It was an ABC, but it wasn't a normal ABC that came and took the low. It was a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways breakout type of ABC. So that could be what's happening. Maybe we get another hit to the high for wave 5, right? A, B, C, and then we go flat, and then that's a running flat, ladies and gentlemen. And that is very bullish, but it's a trap at first. Now it's just hard for me to imagine that that's what's happening again. I mean, because it happened back here. So for it to happen again, right, in a wave 2, usually wave 2 is some type of, you know, ABC, a zigzag, you know, it could be, you know, kind of a shape like a bullish flag or a diagonal, a shape to it. But, you know, to have that same thing here, it's kind of unusual, but, you know, not totally impossible. So you could say, well, why would it do that? We just had 5 waves. Well, the thing is look at this, right? We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got this big thing from that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we get another big thing? right? Well, if we had 5 waves, why would we get another big thing? Shouldn't we be breaking out? And yes, that's true. But what could be happening here is a B wave, right? It could be part of a bigger B wave. So what I'm actually, yeah, a B wave. So we would have this B and A, and then we come up for B. We hit the high though, right? We come up and hit the high. Remember, we have the triangle here, right? Potentially, this is all potentially. We have the triangle, so 1, 2, 3. Here's a 4th wave triangle. We come up, we hit the high, right? We take out the all-time high, potentially, right? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but we come up here, we grab that liquidity, and then we come down. This is one idea. Now, the triangle can work for a couple ideas. This is one idea. Then we come down, and then we build a base here, right? We build a base, and then we go. And when I mean go, go, right? No fooling around. We go. So that would be an A, B, C, or a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. So what this would do, what this triangle would do, is it would set up basically a trap for the bulls, right? Because if you look at the atmosphere, I would imagine most people are bullish. Most people are, yeah, let's go. You know, you got the ETF, you got the crypto bill, you know, good things are coming, good things are happening. You know, you got momentum, you see the meme coins popping off, right? So people are optimistic. But there's also a lot of people who are not. A lot of people are like, I don't know about this. This isn't looking right, right? So, but if we get the pop to the high, I think it's going to change their minds. And then you're going to even have more people bullish. And then that's when the market makers short it. Why do they short it? Because they want to, right? Obviously, they probably bought down here, the bull market support band, right? And they bought the divergence between here and here. So they're probably in a trade, and you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They short it, right? They made their money, and then they bring it down, and then with the money they just made, plus all their other billions and millions of dollars, they accumulate, and then they take it, right? And then right here, right in this area, right? That's where retail gets sideswiped, because then this is like the temple of the unknown, right? It's like you're in limbo. You don't know what's happening. You're nervous. You have a lot of anxiety. We're going up. We come back down. We're going up. We come back down, right? So it makes you think we're going to crash. It makes you think, right, we're in distribution, because we just got this. Think about the psychology here, right? Think about it. We broke out, and you're like, yes, let's go. Or, you feel this euphoric bull sensation of finally breaking out after all of this, only to then get smacked right back down. And then it sort of ruins your sentiment, and it makes you feel like, oh man. And then to add insult to injury, you just go sideways. Because if you're going down, you just want it to get it over with and say, okay, let's do it. But you just go sideways, right? And it just burns inside. And then what retail is going to do is they're gonna short the bottom and long the top. So when you get down to the bottom, they'll sell. When they get back to the top, they'll buy, and they'll get wiped out, right? They'll start losing on their trades, because when you get to the top of the range, you feel pretty good. When you get back to the bottom, oh no, we're going back down, right? So it's a distribution range, but it's not. It's actually reaccumulation. And a reaccumulation, I can show you an example. This was an example here. And this reaccumulation actually happened towards the bottom, which is even more scary, right? And that could be the case as well, right? So let me take all that off, and I can show you. I don't know, right? This is all speculation. The accumulation can happen down here. We could pop to the high, come all the way down, and reaccumulate here. That's hard to know, right? So you have rise, crash, retrace. You come down for reaccumulation, right? Look at this. You broke out almost. You got everybody bullish. You slammed it down, then everybody's bearish, and then it's like, okay, let's go down, but we don't go down, we go sideways, which makes it even worse, because it's like, okay, what now? So it's all a psychological game that they play here. So this in itself was that same type of thing on a massive scale, right? You have a rise, you have a crash, you have a retracement, but it didn't take out the top. It was a normal retracement, and then you went down for reaccumulation, and then you went sideways. You could see the range here with a big, scary fake out to the downside that actually just back tested this part down here, which is actually bullish, right? So, you know, that's what we can be here. Now, if it's a fourth wave triangle, it doesn't have to do that, right? Here's another idea for that fourth wave triangle. So even if that's what it is, it might not, right? So I'm just entertaining that possibility here. And by the way, that possibility meets all the requirements, right? You got 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up. You need another 3 down, right? So sometimes you can get all of those requirements and the pattern can fail. But I mean, like I said, you know, Thursdays, you know, we had a pretty significant little pump here over this day here. You know, we had some volatility today, which is good. So as long as the market is moving, that's what we want. So what else could it be, right? So what we can have is a 1, 2, 3, and then the triangle. We hit the high, right? We come up, we hit the high. So then let me zoom out. And then what we can do, ladies and gentlemen, is this is the first wave of a 5-wave move in wave 5. So so let me show you what that will look like here. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We get up here, hopefully above 75, maybe 78,000, maybe even almost 80,000. And then we flag out like that. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave 1. And then we come down like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then we go up for wave 3. And that is the big boy wave, right? So let me zoom out and show you what that would look like. So, actually, let me zoom out a little more. So what we would have now is we would have a 1, 2, 3. This is wave 4. And now we're going up into wave 5. So where does that go? I mean, that's tough to say. Some people say 100,000. I'm not sure. I think a lot of people are expecting 100,000. So either the thing with the 100K is we're either going to undershoot it or overshoot it. That's usually what happens. I think there's a good chance we can overshoot it. So I'm going to say about 115, 120, up to 125,000. It's either that or it's, in my opinion, 84 to 86K. So it's either going to be like 115 to 125 or, in my opinion, 84, 86. So those are the two things that I see. I don't see 100K on the dot. I would imagine you get a lot of people selling off. I mean, think about all the people who bought Bitcoin back in the early days, right? I mean, what is their number? What is their sell number? To me, it's 100K, right? I mean, that's the big number that they've been talking about since forever. So that's their number. So if, you know, it's like a Bitcoin 100K is like a $10 XRP. Everybody's talking about it. What happens when you get to that number? Does everybody sell at the same time and Bitcoin crashes to zero? Unlikely, right? Because you have a lot of new market participants. But let's get back into the idea. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, obviously. So then let me zoom in here, right? I'm going to zoom in. So this right here, we're making the wave 1. So this is wave 1. We're going to come down in wave 2. And then we come up for wave 3. And I would imagine, now that I look at it, wave 3 would if we do hit that 120K area, 125, I would imagine wave 3 would end somewhere around 100K. So that, okay. See, sometimes I talk it out and I kind of like, and it makes sense to me now. So wave 3, right? So we'll have 1, 2, 3, and then we're at 100K, and then we get another grueling correction like this, or even worse, like this, right? Where we just kind of, we're in limbo. We don't know what's going on. So everybody believes the bear market's over or the bull market's over, right? When in reality, we're just, meandering around for a wave 4, and then we come up and hit the high for a wave 5 like this. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this whole 5-wave move would be part of a wave 5, right? So when you zoom all the way out, that's the whole bull market. Now it's done. It's completely cooked. And it's ready for the history books, right? So, and then what you got here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in wave 5, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in wave 5, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the 5th of the 5th of the 5th. So that's like, hey, it's time to get the hell out, right? I think at that moment, Bitcoin is in for a big, probably bear market. I mean, I would just imagine, right? I mean, you have to think. This is a Coinbase chart. It's not the one I wanted, but so here's the one, right? So, I mean, dang, look at this thing. This thing is gnarly. So what you have, right, is a 1, 2, and then all of that's wave 3. This is wave 4, and this is wave 5. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're in 7. So it's kind of, you can see how it's going up, and now it's starting to flatten out. It's starting to flatten out in here, right? The curve is starting to flatten out. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I honestly don't. Because when you look at the stock market, I mean, it just goes up and up and up and up. If you go back to, the early 1900s and then fast forward today, I mean, it has the same look and it still defies, really a lot. So, but I can imagine a lot of people who bought down here. I mean, think about the Winklevoss twins. I mean, those guys. I mean, they got tons of Bitcoin. Don't you think they're waiting? I mean, at some point, you would imagine a lot of these billionaires like Michael Saylor and all these guys and that bought super cheap, you would imagine they would take profit about that 100K area, unless they're waiting for a bigger number, which to me is definitely possible, and I believe it's going to come. But they're just going to have to wait a lot longer because it's going to have to, you're going to have to go through another cycle to get there, right? So I would imagine, knowing that the recession is probably coming, right? You have the financial central banking fiat currency enslavement system that is basically a tyrannical force that is trying to steal all of your wealth, and they've been doing so for hundreds and hundreds of years, right, through their central banking tactics and their corruption. And so, crypto is freedom, because crypto allows you to choose what you decide, right? So basically, when you're in the United States or any country, you're mandated through, you're not mandated, but you have one thing, and that's the dollar, right? And they say that's the U.S. dollar. Well, you know what? It's not United States. It's Federal Reserve, right? So it's basically anti-American. And there's actually a bill in Congress. Did you hear about this? That actually says audit the Fed. And there's another bill, I think you can look this up, by Thomas Massey, I think is his name. It's an in the Fed bill. I was like, whoa. Like, wow, people are starting to, take a stand here, right? Because when you look at the whole corrupt system, right? When you look at the United States and you look at the mainstream media and you look at everything and you think to yourself, what's the root problem? What is the root problem? It's the money. Our money system is broken. What is the alternative? Well, you can have 100 pounds of gold, logging around in your car trying to buy groceries, or you can have this thing called digital assets, right? Crypto. So I believe, the financial system is cracking. Just look at 2008. And, I got a little bit of a backlash for speaking on politics terms, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't talk about politics in the light of like different. So politics is policy, right? It's policy. What is the policy on the subject? So you have all these different topics of policy from, I'm not going to name them all, but you know what they are. The only policy I'm talking about is crypto. So it is politics, but it's only one policy, and that policy is our investment, what we work so hard to get. So I don't feel like it's me talking politics. I feel like it's me talking about the topic, like the elephant in the room that we all should be aware of, right? So anyways, got my little rant in, so I'm good. Okay, so, that's basically, the two ideas there. So what else could it be? Well, let's talk about that. So the other option here, right, is, right, this is a triangle. You can't see it because I'm on the high time frame, but here's the triangle right there, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're waiting for 5, right? So let me just draw that here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We come up and pop the pie. Okay, so we got that. So that would be the idea. So what would that be? So what if, right? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and this whole thing is the third wave. So instead of like the previous idea, we were starting the fifth wave. What if we're ending the third wave? So that could be a situation too. So what you have, right, is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is the end of wave 3. So you have wave 1, wave 2, and then we get something to this magnitude where we go sideways in here, or have a bigger ABC, or have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, something like that, right? Which would basically make sense because this correction for it being a wave 4 doesn't match up with wave 2. So what if wave 3 isn't finished, ladies and gentlemen? That is the big thing. So I think I offered 3 solid ideas, right, for the bulls, for the bullish case. Now there is the bearish case, but I just feel reluctant to talk about it because, I mean, look at where we're at. I mean, we're at the cusp of breaking out here. I mean, we're at the all-time high here. I mean, this is serious business here. So yes, it could be a trap, right? It could be, I've had people say that, this is an A, this is a B, that took out the top, it grabbed liquidity, and now we're going to die. So it's going to be a big ABC. And that could totally happen. But I just can't see it happening because it just looks too big. Look at the size of this, and then look at the size of that. Put it this way, if Bitcoin did that, it's never done that in its lifetime. So it would defy every single cycle that's ever existed. It would, in order for that to happen, you would need a total economic stock market collapse, right? And maybe that's what happens. Maybe we get an incredible stock market, epic 50-60% crash that just completely kills off a lot of crypto, because you have so many crypto coins out there. A lot of people believe a lot of them have to die, right? Even Brad Garlinghouse and many prominent figures in the crypto space say, look, it's just congested. You don't know what's real and what's fake. And that's okay in a speculation market. That's okay in a dot-com bubble type of situation. But, eventually we're going to be transitioning from the old central banking fiat currency enslavement system to a new, more decentralized, gold-backed, blockchain-based system, right? So when we are, crossing that line, people are going to demand certain actions, right? Certain things from these coins. And a lot of the coins have, utility. And a lot of them don't have any utility. So I think at that moment will be the reckoning. So is it going to happen now? I mean, yeah, it could be. So just be aware of that. But, to me, it doesn't look finished. It doesn't look finished. Now, if it was going to collapse and do that, I don't think it would be. So, I mean, usually when that happens, people are calling for something like that, a big ABC. I think it needs to come up and hit the high first, right? Hit the high and then do that. But I don't think it would even do that. I don't think Bitcoin will ever break below this low ever again. I mean, it's definitely possible. I think there's just too much demand unless something incredible happens. I don't know. So here's the thing. If that did occur, if we had some type of insane thing, this is what would happen. Exactly what happened here. So we have a rise. We have a crash. We come up into a retracement that breaks the top, grabs the liquidity, then we come down, and then we go sideways. So it could be like an A, B, C running flat, something like that, right? But if it did occur, I mean, it should do it. It should decide that now, because we only have three waves. We have 1, 2, 3. So is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an ABC pullback, right? So you have an A, you have a 3-wave B, and then you come down in a C wave. So it would be a rise, crash, retrace, right? We in this reaccumulation box, and then we go. Same thing here, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation box, and then we go. So the box can be up here, the box can be in the middle, the box can be on the lower end. I mean, it's tough to say. I would imagine it would be, if this were to occur, it would be somewhere in this box here. So between 25K and 50K. So again, these are the bearish options, right? I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I've been bullish. I've stated that many times. And my big sort of not to say call, but my main thesis has been Theta, right? That's the coin that I've been focusing on a lot. And going to Theta, if I can find it here, has been that it needs to get into a retracement level. Now it is at a dangerous spot. And you say, why is it dangerous? Because we have 3 waves, right? We have only 1, 2, 3. So, every time you have 3 waves, that could be the end of it. The market moves in 5s and 3s. So is it a 5-wave move or is it a 3-wave move? If it's a 3-wave move, it's correcting. If it's a 5-wave move, it's trending. You know what I mean? So that is why I've been saying it's so important that this is a wave 4 and now we go up into wave 5. Now here's the thing. Wave 4 might not be done. Wave 4 might be a little more complex. Remember what we talked about wave 4s. They're always challenging. So it could be an A, B, we come down for C, and we actually back test. Look at this. This is perfect horizontal resistance in here. So we can actually come all the way down and back test it and then go. But if that occurred, it wouldn't be a 1, 2, 3, 4. It would actually be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Would actually be very bullish, right? Because my main thing with Theta is that eventually we get up here between, you know, that $5 and $10 area, right? So if I had to guess exactly, I would say I would really say $7 to $8. So somewhere lining up with the top of this range. So you can see here's the range from the bottom to the top. So I would say on the upper side of that range. So somewhere in there. And then probably some much needed consolidation before another hopeful attempt, right? So then what you would have is a 1, and then you need a wave 2, right? I mean, this whole, if that is, you know, not a 1, 2, 1, 2, but something, you know, if it was a 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, we have one wave, right? That's wave 1. So that would be wave 1 of wave 3, right? Because this is our base. This is wave 1. Now some people can argue that that's wave 3, right? You could say this is wave 1, this is wave 2, and now this is wave 3. This is wave 4, and now we're in the middle of wave 5. I mean, yeah, I guess so. So, you know, it's a little bit challenging when coins are very brand new, because it's like, I'm not sure how Theta, I don't think they did an ICO. I can't remember exactly how Theta came about. But was there pre-trading before this? I can't recall. So, you know, I'm just looking at this as, if it is a wave 1, I would say 1, 2. Yeah, see, it wouldn't make sense. It would have to be a base here. I mean, I guess you could say it's a wave 1, right? But look at C19, it broke the low, because I was going to say 1, A, B, C, and then 3, 4, 5. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, you know, either way, upside is very, very likely. So if this is a 5-wave move, what could it look like? Well, we could easily have, right, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, we get in the retracement levels, a big ABC. And then we can actually get all the way up here and then actually come all the way back down and then back test, right? That's kind of scary, right? Because that's usually how wave 1s go a lot of the times, is they like to retrace a lot, right? A wave 1 is sort of, you know, an in-between wave. It's not so big, but the wave 2 oftentimes like to retrace a lot of wave 1. So if, let's say, I'll put the retracement, here's the bottom, and let's say we get up to, let's say $8. I think that's fair. We get up to $8. We could actually retrace. So this is not on log scale. So actually, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, because I was thinking log scale. So let's see here. So we come up, right, in a wave 5, and we get to $8, let's say. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an extended fifth. Because if you look at wave 5, it would actually be a little bit bigger than wave 3. And wave 3 was pretty big, but proportional to what this did, it's nothing. So we could get an extended fifth. If not, then, you know, between that, you know, $5 to $8 area, I'd say would be reasonable. Now, I believe $10 and higher is coming, but we'll have to see how this goes up. So what I would look for if we do trend up is, do we get 5 waves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's say we have 5 waves. We have divergence between the 4th and the 5th. Bitcoin looks like it's stalled out, whatever. Then what I would look for is a pullback to this area down in here. So I can get rid of this, and I can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, right? We have an A, B, C, some type of correction. Maybe it might be a little more complex, but then we continue higher. And what that will do, right, what that does is it allows people to get used to the new norm, right? Because a lot of people are used to, you know, I mean, look how long we were between, you know, $1.70 and 50 cents, right? For, what is that, April 22 to December 2023. So, I mean, almost about a year and a half, almost 2 years, playing around in there. So people are used to that. So now people are getting used to, you know, a $2 theta, and then eventually they'll get used to a $3 to $4 theta, right? But I don't think people are going to feel it long, because I think it's going to happen quickly. So, you know, pulling down the entire retracement from here down to here, right? We're still in the very bottom here. We're still at the very bottom. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. This could be a lot bigger, because the way I've drawn it is, you know, not really proportional to what the Fibonacci says. The Fibonacci actually says higher, right? So let me reset that here. Okay. So let me remove all this, and you can look at it on linear scale. So when you look at it on linear scale, right, it kind of changes your psychology a little bit. So, you know, we see 1, 2, 3, and that's why I'm like, this is a tiny little wave 3 here. If this is going to be a wave 3, that's why I'm thinking it's going to be a big 5th wave. That's why I really think, you know, a 1, 2, 1, 2 would be a very beneficial thing, because it would really catapult the price up here. So something like that, where we're playing around in here a little bit, and then we get going and we can start challenging the upper side of that area, right? I mean, that's one way you can look at it. So when I put the retracement back on, I'm going to try to get it on the dot there. Yeah, it's about a 50% retracement the way I've drawn it. And you say, well, why did you draw it that way? Well, because I'm looking at this, the top of these. Basically, there's a big box here. And if I drag that out, there's a lot of price action in here. So when you get up here in this part, it's not too much resistance up there, is what I'm thinking. So if I switch this to log scale, that might be, sometimes it's more, it's not working because I've already got it. Okay, so I got to actually be on the log scale chart for that to work. But anyway, so, you know, that would be the way I would think. Now, this could turn into a W pattern, right? And what a W pattern is basically very, very bullish, but it, you know, you have some downside. So you have this W, we get up here, and then you kind of wane out like this, and then you go up, which really is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. That's really what it is. And a good example, I believe, was on Ethereum, or let's see, is it on Total 3 as well? Yeah, so look at this. This was a W here. Now, I don't think it's going to be that dramatic, but you can see what I mean here. We had this big run up, this big crash, we came up, and then we swooped around, and then we came up. So it's not a perfect W like this. It's more of a W like this, like a slanted W. But the reason why I don't like that is this right here. So first of all, look at Total 3. We came up, we came all the way down, we went straight up. So this was itself was the base. But when you look at theta, right? When you look at theta here, we didn't go straight up. You see, we actually created a base down in here. So that's why I'm a little reluctant to say that it's going to be a W, because we have a big belly down here. I mean, this is a nice size belly, right? Instead of, you know, because a W, you have a point, right? Instead of an actual, you know, base. So that's why I'm a little reluctant with that. So to me, this box was a Wyckoff accumulation range where people were accumulating. So I do see upside, but I don't see a dramatic W like that. I mean, it's definitely possible, but since you had all of this accumulation in here, I think people are pretty much stacked up. I think you will get pullbacks. I think it'll be smaller, something like that. But again, we don't have to know today. This is just me thinking ahead, looking outwards. But yeah, if this is bearish and that Bitcoin ultra bear count occurred, then what you have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an ABC pullback, and now this is a 1. We're getting 2, and now we're about to go down 3, 4, 5 and take out the low, and then this whole thing would be an ABC, and then you go to the moon. I just don't really like it a lot. It's pretty big. It's very big, right? I mean, proportional wise, from this wave here, right? You have this wave. It could be some type of bull flag, right? But it's just way too big, and it just doesn't seem right, again, because you have this base down in here. So that's why, you know, I'm a little reluctant for the bear count right now. But, you know, it'd be foolish if I didn't, you know, at least talk about it. So, and any way you look at it, we're impulsing to the upside. And this correction is not, you know, a big smackdown like what happened over here. I mean, you see there, this is more like, you know, we're correcting, you know, correctively. So, and what I do like here, right, is we're building a base here, right? Just like how we built a base here. And where is my indicators at? I'm not sure why they didn't show up. All right, well, we'll play with that a little later. But look at there. Yeah, we got a nice retest of the bull market support band. So yeah, let's keep it moving. So let's look at the smaller time frames on Theta. It's still, I mean, it's a tough one because it does look bearish right now, and it just doesn't look, just because it looks bearish doesn't mean it's bearish overall. I think it just looks bearish because it doesn't look finished, right? It doesn't look finished. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an A. We come up, we hit the high for B, and then we have a 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe we get a 3, 4, 5. Right, and we have a nice ABC. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. You know, reaccumulation a little bit down in here. You know, maybe testing the bull market support. That would be great if we can come up here and test the bull market support band again, and then go. So I just don't think it's finished in here for me to say upside is upon us. I do think upside is upon us, but I think it needs to be finished here. I still like the shape of it. You know, this kind of ascending triangle type of shape where we're rising the trend. So maybe another test of that trend line here. And then, yeah, so there's your triangle where, you know, you're just kind of concentrating in here, come down, hit the high, or hit this lower trend line, and then break out, maybe back test. That would be nice because you got 2 points here, right? So it definitely is serious business. And then you also have this over here. So you break out, you back test. What that, oh, look at that, guys. Look at this. What that could also be here, right, is a 1, 2. You break out 1, you come down. Whoa, okay. That just took it to another level. Trying to see if that would work. Obviously, a lot of things have to go right in order for that to work. But also, you know, it would make sense why we're still dumping here, right? Because, you know, you have this move to the upside, right? From the bottom of the range to the top of the range. And now we're coming down correctively. You can see this is going impulsively. So, you know, that might be the end of that wave here. We come back down, right? So 1, 2. We have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We break out, right? We touch this resistance up here because you can see the box right here. There's your box, right? And again, when you zoom all the way out, that same box is on the larger time frames, right? So, man, I'd have to zoom out a lot to show you. So that same box, right, is like right here, right? When you know, that's why charts are basically Fibonacci spirals or not spirals, but like fractals of each other, right? So here's the same box that we're talking about on the larger time frame, right? And look, it's kind of like matching up here. Like this little tiny correction here is actually the same thing on the much bigger scale, right? Because look where we stopped out right at the bottom of this area here, right? So here's the box right here, right? Here's the bottom, and that's where we stopped out. Now, look at this. When I zoom in, right, there's the box right here. So, you know what I mean? So we came up, same thing. We hit here, and now we're coming back down. So does that mean on the bigger time frames we also come back down a lot stronger? It could be. But yeah, I would really like to see that. I mean, to me, it's not really the main idea. I mean, you know, it's a tough one, you know, because I'm just really waiting on Bitcoin. But for me, this would be what I would really love to see, right? We have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We pull back ABC, and then we get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We break this resistance. We come down ABC. We back test it right here, right? And then what that would be is a 1, 2, 1, 2, which would set us up for a massive, massive, massive move to the upside. And I think that would break us out big time. So I really like that idea. And then you can see our resistance. Then that's when we break out, right? We break out. And I mean, we could actually back test again, right? I don't know about that. We're not even near that, but I'm just projecting outwards. So then the idea, right? So you can see it zoomed out. So the idea now would to be breakout and actually meet up with this this zone in here, so somewhere around there. So between that, you know, well, it's a little too high, but I would say that $8 to $10 area. So, you know, things can happen quick. Things can happen really, really quick. I mean, when I look at Matic, I mean, it looks like it's in a triangle as well, or on the big time frame, A, B, C, D, and now it's going into E, and then we break out. It looks like a massive fourth wave. And where's the triangle coming in? It's coming in a fourth wave. Well, gee, look at that. We have a 1, 2, 3, fourth wave triangle, fifth wave breakout. So that's how I'm looking at Matic. Not a lot of time here. Running out of time fast. SHIB. So SHIB had an interesting move, and that's why I didn't do a video, because I was trading it like a boss, as they say. But you know, I don't like to say that. I actually did quite well here. I messed up a few times in a couple trades, but I got the that big breakout, which was nice to see. And now it looks like we're dumping. So to me, it looks like some type of rising wedge here, right? Where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So this move down is now, this is correcting this move down, which means you probably need more downside, right? So you have one, 2, and then 3. You have this. So what that would be is this move up, right? You can see this move up, because you always look at the move and you say, well, what is that move doing in relation to the other move, right? So this move, we came down to the bull market support band, and bam, we came all the way up. So this entire move is being now corrected by this entire move, right? Which, this is one wave. So one wave sometimes needs to be corrected by 3 waves. So we have A, B, C, right? Some type of ABC pattern, right? And then you can break out, right? Sort of finish up that triangle in here. You can start to see the triangle shape, and you can see it broke out too early. It got everybody bullish, and then it came right back down. See what I mean? So that would be my idea for SHIB. XRP, man, XRP's just been pretty tough here. So let's see here. I mean, on the small time frame, we are dumping pretty big, and I think we're dumping across the board here. Let's see, Bitcoin. Yeah, we're dumping here on Bitcoin, but that's to be expected, right? I didn't even get to talk about Bitcoin on the small time frame. Well, actually, yeah, I did, but let's see. Okay, so if this is a triangle, I'll get back to XRP in a minute. So ABC, 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 ABC. We probably have A, we're coming down, B, and then C. So that would be A, B, C, D, E. So that would be the triangle, it's called a contracting. If you want to look it up on Google, type in Elliott wave contracting triangle and look at your chart and tell me, does it match up? I mean, you could argue that this is 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like it because of the shape. So some of the coins broke the low, right? So they're more of a 3-wave shape. So I would imagine something, we come down, we have a little bit of retracement, we come back down, and then we start hopefully climbing to the upside. So hopefully, I mean, next week, right? What's today? So today is Thursday. So, the week's almost finished. So maybe we start to trend up a little bit, and then the beginning of the next week have that final dump, or even, well, actually, no, it'd actually be tomorrow, Friday, and then hopefully the weekend we go sideways, and then maybe next week we can start hopefully pumping up. But that's definitely dumping pretty hard there. We have this 3-wave shape, and we came all the way down fast and hard, and we basically were back testing this area. So it doesn't seem like it's just going to keep going down. You're probably going to get a bounce somewhere. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays. And that would basically be it, as for even for XRP. I mean, when I look at XRP, I mean, we're still in this huge triangle looking thing. I mean, you could say A, B, C, D, and now we're in that final E wave, right before the big breakout. Maybe, yeah. I mean, that could be the count. But what I do know is this looks like a nice diagonal here, or some type of 5-wave move. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then this could be subtype of A, B, C. So excluding the wicks, A, B, C, and we're about to finish here and maybe touch the trend line and then get going. So it feels very, very bearish right now. So that would be the idea. So if that's not the idea, then this is a nest of 1, 2s, and we're really bearish, right? So you have 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe we come down pretty hard. And then that's the breakdown of the triangle. And the triangle was really like this: A, B, C, D, E, and now we're going down, right? That could happen. But you know, again, we're right at that moment where it's like something's got to give. You know, you know, the story is going to be told. I just crossed that hour thresh line. Didn't really want to, but if you guys can, like the video. It helps with the algorithm, especially if I go over an hour. But you know, if we do break down, I would actually be very bullish, because then it would be, you know, like I said before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your diagonal, and then you have an A, a complex B, and then you have 1, 2, 3, fourth wave triangle. Remember, that's where the triangle is. Fourth wave triangle. Then you come down for wave 5, build a little base, and then go to outer space. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I haven't been able to check a lot of the comments, so I'm behind on a lot of comments. You know, I've been dealing with some family stuff, visiting and things like that. I mean, we're getting towards the summer months, so have been more occupied with family stuff, so I haven't really got a chance to look at your request for rapid fire, but I will get to it. I will get to it. So if you want to drop that comment in this video, that would be great. That way I don't have to go back and look at all the videos, but I still will, because I you know, I read all the comments. So don't think I don't see your comment. I do see it. I just might not get to it right away, but I will eventually get to it. So but yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.